What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. Hopefully you've watched yesterday's video, and if you have, you'll see how interesting today's been based off that analysis. So we have traded on higher in Tuesday just as we expected, but we didn't or nowhere near trade up to the buy side liquidity target that I had delineated. What's interesting to see is that we did trade down into that 15-minute fair value gap that I called right to the pip, as you can see, and then from then on price continued to comfortably trade on higher. Now this is very high resistance, so price is really struggling to get up there. I don't believe that this is the high, and I don't really want it to be the high of the week. Remember, I'm still expecting a down close week, and we have CPI and other high impact news to come for the rest of the week, so we need to be really aware of that and also really cautious. These environments have been disgusting, so definitely don't be kicking yourself over this. I've personally not been trading just because of how ugly delivery has been. It's very consolidated, it's very low probability, and it's just high resistance in general, so price is struggling to move. Nonetheless, I am still going to watch this buy side liquidity, as I do still believe price may want to get up there. Yeah, it's just got to the point of the week now, and we're entering Wednesday. Wednesday tends to consolidate anyway, so the fact that we're here and we're already in a strong consolidation is just not nice at all. Let's go to the 15-minute, and you can see absolutely disgusting. But what's interesting is that we are hovering above this weekly inversion fair value gap. So again, if you've been watching my videos this week, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's just take a closer look at that. So this is the inversion fair value gap, and you can see how we closed up. We traded above that. And on the daily you can see we're going to have an up close. Now what's interesting about this is that we're closing above the midpoint of the inversion fair value gap, so that's one bullish signal, meaning that price shouldn't need to come back below this until we've reached some kind of buy side liquidity. Furthermore, we have a fair value gap which will now act as an inversion fair value gap because we've traded through it right here. So as we drop down to the lower time frame and we put the midpoint on that, as we drop down to the lower time frame, let's go straight to the hourly, you'll see the midpoint of that new fair value gap. Now my charts are getting really messy, so I'm going to clean it up for us a little bit. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. We've acknowledged this, so we don't really need to look at that. These I drew out today myself. So now I'm just looking at this fair value gap, and so far as I'm concerned, if we respect the 50% level, and I do want to see respect of that, I am happy to remain bullish with the expectation to run for this buy side liquidity up here. If we trade through this fair value gap on the downside, I'll simply be bearish and start looking for these lows to get taken and for us to start reaching down into our sell side liquidity targets. Because remember, overall, I want to see price get down here and here. We just haven't done it yet. So I am still expecting these to be hit for targets, but it is only still Tuesday. We still have the whole of Wednesday, and we're hovering above the weekly inversion fair value gap. We're clearly finding support. So long as this fair value gap holds up from the daily, the one with the white lining, so long as that holds price up, there's no reason we can't try and reach for buy side liquidity up here. Now what does that mean for our pairs? Well, let's head on to GBP USD, and you'll see that GBP pretty much traded very precisely into the levels I called. So if you watched yesterday's video, you'll remember me calling out this level. Look at that, we traded into it in Asia, and then we also traded into it again later on in the day. So we traded into it twice, and then where did we trade down to? Our south side target. So very interesting, very nice delivery in terms of how precise we got, but how it delivered was not nice at all. It's not like it was easy to trade. So although I'm able to call these levels this specifically, which is crazy, trading it is a whole other story because there was a lot of whipsaw action and it was very dangerous environments. Nonetheless, it's hinting to us, this break right here, I'm seeing this as displacement to the downside, which is supportive of our bullish bias on dollar. So let's just go back up to the weekly to see what to see what we're actually trading inside of. Oh gosh, sometimes data does this. Look, let's just start on the 4 hour. Let's get rid of this massive box. So the fact that we traded down into this discount PD array means I'm simply just going to look for the next one to get traded to. So let's get rid of all of this. This is nice displacement. We're closing below down closes, showing clear displacement to the downside and a willingness to want to go lower. We just have to figure out where it wants to draw to. Well, first we have a bullish order block right here, so price may want to try and draw down into that. And then on the hourly, I did see a fair value gap right here, and that just happens to line up with our bullish order block and is below relative equal lows. So I'm looking for a continuation to the downside so long as dollar does hold its price. Sorry, just hold where it's at, and I'll go back to dollar real quick just to show you what I'm talking about. But nonetheless, I would, moving into the new day, I'd want to see more bearishness on pound, run into relative equal lows, and try and attempt to fill this fair value gap before expecting a potential reversal for the week. We will drop down to the 15-minute, and this is what I mean. This is not although the delivery from here to the downside was clean, the fact we traded into it once at 6:30 and then again wasn't ideal for me. Nonetheless, we traded lower, returned to the breaker, and now we're just consolidating. And as far as I'm concerned, price should stay below this bearish order block. So you see we haven't actually traded into it yet. However, we may find that in the Asia range, price wants to dip into this bearish order block. I don't want to see price disrespect it. So if we get above this bearish order block, whole other story, and we're probably going to run for these highs, and then that would mean that dollar is likely going to trade on lower, right? However, if dollar holds on and provides support, then I'll be looking at GBP to respect this bearish order block, which I've delineated in this range, and trade on where? Down to our sell side targets below here. And remember, that's a 1 hour fair value gap. So it's as simple as that. But again, very low probability conditions. I think let me just double check what high impact news I have tomorrow. Bear with me, guys. So tomorrow is the Fed Chair Powell. So tomorrow is the Fed Chair Powell speech. Excuse me. So yeah, still likely going to be very volatile. Probably going to see a lot of consolidation like we've been seeing all day, all week so far. But just be wary of this bearish order block. So far as I'm concerned, I want to see it provide resistance for price. So therefore have this marked out on your charts. I'm going to delineate the midpoint of it, and the reason for that is just because that is the very highest I want to see price trade before seeing us turn around. You'll also find there's a little fair value gap there as well. And is that a breaker? It's kind of a breaker. We've got high, low, higher, high. So this range in general, I'm just looking for resistance. So let's say London, we trade into there. I'll be expecting shorts from that to run for these Tuesday lows first, obviously, and then ideally into our lower targets. And as price is doing that, we'll be watching dollar very closely to see, okay, is it providing support in this range? Remember from the, was it the daily, like a daily fair value gap? Anyway, I want to see support in here, and then I want to see, can we run up to that buy side liquidity? So it's a very difficult week, guys. Honestly, I'm not enjoying this whatsoever. You can really feel when the markets are in consolidation, but we let it do its thing nonetheless. Let's finish up on Euro USD. Now you'll see I did clear my charts here, unfortunately, but nonetheless, if you watched, again, go watch yesterday's video, you will learn a lot. But you can see I got a fair value gap right here. I do want to see continuation down into that. We do have an implied, is it implied? It's not really implied, it's like an implied invert. Let's not do all that. Let's go to the 4 hour and see what we could key off. Now, as you can see, this is disgusting. I don't even want to talk much on it, but I'll bring your attention to where I'm watching for price to trade. So if we're expecting low price on pound, and higher prices on dollar, that means that I'm looking for some kind of discount for euro, and this would be it. Sell side liquidity, nice fair value gap. So it'd be nice to see if price can get into that. But as you can see, oh, this isn't even the 4 hour. This is the, here's the 4 hour. Let's go make that there. As you can see, price isn't really, you know, doing any justice right now. Let's go to the 1 hour, see what we can find. Yeah, see how much back and forth price action there is. Not ideal. Similarly to pound, however, I am going to be looking at bearish order blocks to hopefully see them provide resistance. But I was watching price action pretty closely today, and the way they were just whipping price back and forth, and you can see from the size of these wicks, look at that, it's not being very clean. So again, low probability, low risk. Guys, if you're going to be trading, I don't know why you'd want to trade in these conditions, to be honest. But if like I said, if dollar holds its position in terms of its premium above that weekly inversion fair value gap, I'm happy to be expecting shorts on euro to run for our discount target. So that's going to be everything, guys. I hope that all makes sense. If you were a bit confused by this video, I do suggest you watch yesterday's video, and you'll see how precise we were in managing to call where price traded to. However, like I said, the way it's delivering is not nice at all. Again, very high impact news this week. There's a lot going on. I know there's elections all over the world. It's just a crazy moment of the year, but hold on tight. I'll be back tomorrow with my last video of the week this week. And yeah, thanks for watching. Smash subscribe, join the mailing list and the Discord, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.